Alright, what is up everyone? Thought I'd try something new, where essentially it's kind of like a uncut edit, where I'm not going to do any like incredible cuts or anything like that. It's just going to be raw gameplay. I'm just going to talk over stuff, so we'll see if this is something you enjoy watching, I guess, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, as you obviously know, URL came out today, and kind of the first thing I enjoyed out of it was sitting with other mods and just basically having fun watching you guys try and figure out where the quest start was, because obviously the quest start marker was in the area but wasn't exactly on the right spot. So I thought I'd demonstrate kind of an example of what people might have done when they first played the quest, until they of course found the right area which started the quest. With that of course came a golden rock, ironically, from my woodcutting, so nice timing there. So it's pretty nice to have that. Something you might not be aware of actually, we introduced this a few weeks back, but you can now close your chat boxes during cutscenes, so if you kind of want to experience that full quest experience, you have that ability to do so now via just essentially closing out those chat boxes. So you can just click them away and kind of enjoy the cutscene as it were, and without having chat get in the way. Ruins your immersion and all that. So yeah, with URL, I didn't really get to talk with Dave, i.e. Mod Osborne, today on stream about it because we had the mining and smithing art stream, but URL is basically a bottle quest, in essence a quick quest, so to speak. In this case, this quest took me about, from start to finish, 12-13 minutes, but that's if you kind of know what you're doing, and then you can go from there. So I'm not going to really spoil the steps, so to speak, but you can kind of figure out what I'm doing just via my right clicks or how I'm trying to figure out what to do next. So feel free to have a nosy at that and see how it's done. But apart from that, just kind of a video to talk about stuff like the game updates, you know, what happened when we missed something, like for example when completing the quest you didn't get your keys, how we fixed that, and kind of give you an insight into that. But at the same time, consider this a very like personal video in that sense, where there will be some stuff related to obviously the work I do at Jagex as community manager, but also if this becomes a thing, you might even get an insight into my life with my beautiful other half, Anna, and also the birth of our baby girl coming up in August, and many more. I fully expect sometime in the future our little girl will just burst in and just start, you know, doing baby speak, as stuff like this is happening just for the hell of it, and I cherish those moments that are coming up. Funny enough, actually, built our crib yesterday night, which was a breathtaking experience, because you just go into the bedroom now and you just see this crib set up, and then there are all the toys and everything else, knowing that our baby girl is going to be there in just under 14 weeks is, it's breathtaking. It makes it all so much more real and all so much more exciting. So I can't wait for that, and every week that's going by, Anna is smashing it. She's just being herself and just being an absolute warrior throughout all of this, and can't ask for a better person in that regard. Just the perfect person who I get married to in, I believe, 16 days now, which is mental just thinking about it. But I can't wait to call her my wife, and as you can tell just from the sound of my voice, everything is just perfect, really. On top of the world, love what I do for my job, and I just love my personal life that much more because of a lot of appreciation for obviously my perfect other half and obviously a child to be. So throughout this quest, there's a couple of things that they use, such as emotes and stuff, and I just kind of demonstrate really quickly that if you're struggling to try and figure out which emote is what via the icons, you can just click on the icon in the bottom left and it will make it into text form. Some of the text does overlap because some of the emotes are very long, but you can use that to your advantage if you so wish. And again, just demonstrating, you can click away the chat boxes and hide those cutscenes and then carry on. I imagine this is a cutscene that Mod Shogun loved because it's Ripper Demons. It is his thing, and I imagine he cannot wait to get the Ripper Demon pet out, which is of course shown at Game Jam, so fingers crossed. And I do love to give a little shout out for, I believe Mod Days who made this cutscene, only because he uses the sepia filter which is used on the skybox tool, so I will say always a thumbs up in that regard. I love seeing the skybox tool being used as a quick way to set up environments overrides in a cutscene. So he was able to use, I believe anyway, the skybox tool code for sepia and apply it to that cutscene and do it very quickly. Whereas in the past they had to set up specific color filters, use a ton of environmental scripting and everything else to kind of make it work. And this is just me replying to a Mario Sonic who is an absolute hero. But just saying I didn't want to be ignorant that I was recording, so I didn't want to act like I wasn't there and not reply. So I thought I'd let him know there in that one. But yeah, you are it. It's kind of a quick quest, and you know, if you enjoy it, like, let Mod Osborne know it's kind of his baby as a quest, so to speak. He, I believe, wrote it at like 5 a.m. in the morning sometime when he couldn't get his little girl to sleep. So, oh sorry, he'd just gotten his little girl to sleep, but he couldn't sleep himself. So I just spent time smashing out a quest, and then threw it over to the Eclipse team, which is the team of moderator Mod Cuppa, well, ex Mod Cuppa, who was sadly left us last Friday after being a Jagex for, I believe, 8 years. Absolutely loved the guy. He was such an awesome person to work with, and genuinely a huge loss for us, but he's gone on to just be awesome in anything he takes on. And of course Mod Days, and the guys have actually smashed that out for May, because the next update as well, they've got the Karamjan Idols, which is going to be a lot of fun. Nice woodcutting training method to bridge the gap between mid to high level woodcutting instead of relying on IVs constantly. But you could use, of course, Arcadia logs, but that's assuming if you have crystallized, etc, etc. So yeah, that's most of May, obviously not including Salak, of course, from Ramen and Mojang, which is obviously very hype. So very much looking forward to that one. And what I love to do in these cutscenes, because I've not really got to play the cutscenes in full until playing it on my actual account, is just right-click around, examine, and kind of see what's going on. I love seeing little quirky examine texts or just random setups that are there, and just kind of seeing if there's anything new, because I love being able to see that kind of stuff. So yeah, with this quest, I believe these guys, they didn't have long to work on it. In the time they had, because of course they were essentially doing multiple pieces of content. They had some cracking work, I believe, from the art team as well, with specific animations and everything else, and they've just done an incredible job of it. It's one of these quests that kind of hits home in regards of its impact. It needed to be somewhat at the length it is for what it provides, but I think it definitely provides a nice insight into that. And of course, considering the Eclipse were the guys that released the incredible Clue Scroll overhaul update, what a perfect time for them to step up again and include it inside a quest with the dialogue of Mod Osborne. So perfect time to do it. Also a shout out to the audio team for the audio cues that go on in the cutscene, the kind of creepiness in that regards that kind of stands out when you're in these kind of cutscenes. And if you're listening to this video, then you should hear it. If my editing is on point, we'll see. But yeah, it's just been good fun, really. With this, of course, means that I wanted to bring back patch notes teasers. Had a conversation with my other half about it, in relation to, you know, what would get people excited. And you know, patch notes teasers was something I used to do a long time ago, until I moved to where I'm living right now, which we've been here for just over a year now. Well, actually coming up to a year in just over a week. But the travel to work is essentially 30 to 45 minutes there and 30 to 45 minutes back. So the problem with that, of course, is I couldn't do the streams as late as I used to, which was 7 to 8 o'clock UK time. Not really viable, but I thought, you know, let's try and get back to it and see if what we can do. You know, we're putting out some phenomenal patch notes recently. This week had some cracking bug fixes, lovely little fixes in between. Ninja is always smashing it, and I just thought, well, you know, why not see if we can kind of get back to it. So with the Eclipse's Karamjan Idols content, I'm going to be going through the patch notes teasers in this Friday, so very much looking forward to that. Of course, we had the incredible art stream from the mining and smithing segment on stream today, which was 2 hours of absolute just hilarity, but also at the same time just incredible work from those guys. Just seeing how it all comes about, and only really getting into art recently. Well, not recently, you know, in about the last year, getting a real appreciation of art from my other half. Like, being able to kind of see it all come together now, it's just blows my mind a little bit. And just watching on the stream, obviously Mod Neil and Mod Clumsy just put it all together, and just the speed they work at is just incredible. So yeah, had a little bit of fun here, because I wanted to try and maybe open a safe crack in, but then I thought maybe I should just do the quest. Almost got sidetracked, but I went back to it, decided to focus on the quest and just search the bookcase, get the key, open it up on the casket, and then that'll give us, well, spoilers, our Charos necklace, which will come into play at the end of a quest as a reward. So, yeah, that's I've rambled for what, 10 plus minutes now, and I'm a bit like need to breathe, but we'll go for it. It'll be fine. So this one, yeah, I kind of cheated here because normally when you're given a scan, you should probably go for it and carry on with it. This one I already knew as MacGruber's Wood, so I didn't want to spend time trying to follow the arrow and so on, so I just thought I'd go straight there. And looking at my mini-map there, it looks like someone else in my clan is doing that. So, shout out to them. So this is where, of course, you find the mysterious hole, which takes you into the crypts. And this is where you need a rope, so if you haven't brought one, wouldn't take long to go get one anyway, but this will bring you into the crypts. And then you're coming towards the end of the quest a little bit here. But yeah, as we're kind of getting ready to wrap up in like the next 2 or 3 minutes, just let me know what you thought about this. The idea is just kind of talk about stuff that's happened obviously at Jagex, but obviously not in the sense that it's spoilerific, but also, at the same time it's kind of informative. For example, when we first saw a post on players not receiving the treasure hunter keys at the end of the quest, we kind of had to obviously deal with that because it's something we do at the end of every quest, and we had to try and figure out what's the best way to combat that. And as posted, we decided to do a login check, where if the game goes, hey, you've done the quest, but we know you haven't got these keys from the quest, and we'll give it to you, and then make sure it doesn't happen again. Whereas if you haven't completed the quest, you'll get 2 keys as normal. So in my case, because I've only just finished it, I'll get my 2 treasure hunter keys. But apart from that, that was like the big one that came up. There are other little issues as well that have come up, as well as issues from past weeks. For example, graphical issues with NXT, which they're very much aware of, or ping not showing up in display FPS, stuff like that. They're all very much aware of in that regard. But you can only do so much in the world of the games industry, where everything is such a moving puzzle, and it's kind of like a clue scroll, like one of the slider puzzles in clue scrolls. You just move around so fast. You're trying to get to the exit, but sometimes you'll hit a roadblock and you kind of have to revert your steps, or so on and so forth. So, making progress there in that regard. So hopefully we'll get some decent stuff out in the near future. And the only other thing I want to talk about, I guess, is related to clans, really. Which is, if you're not in a clan, don't worry, get in one, because having a clan in RuneScape is awesome anyway. But hopefully in the near future there'll be some good little clan stuff that you can kind of get stuck into and just kind of see what you think, really. And any suggestions, feel free to pass on to me. I kind of look after clans on RuneScape. It's kind of my domain. I love being able to push what I think clans need in RuneScape, and they always need features. They've been, in my opinion, really underused as a piece of content. Then they deserve more, and I'm trying to do what I can to get them more. So yeah, any suggestions, by all means, fire them away. I had a little bit of a silly moment here where I was going the wrong way for a moment. Retraced my steps and I was like, oh wait, actually I need to go this way. The book you have on you is kind of key to figuring out the puzzle here. Initially I went to the second page and I realised that he's talking about an object, so you can see you have these options. So I'm like, okay, which one is this? And then I look up the book. First one I see is on the first page, but I went to the second page initially. There you go. And then I saw the word stone, so I thought I'd press stone. I believe if you get it wrong, you do get insta-kill, but it is a safe death, I think. It would be a kind of a horrible way for a hardcore Iron Man to go, in a rather hilarious but tragic way. Kind of similar to if you decide to piss off Jazz and essentially get killed deliberately by Jazz for insulting her, or it. Then, get a nice little custom message, but I think it's all safe mode here. So yeah, that is kind of in a nutshell the quest, as the double agent essentially gets taken over as we win, and then Yuri comes back into the fold in just a moment. So goodbye double agent, and then I'll do a little swap. And woo, Yuri with fireworks, obviously. Yuri, of course. Didn't really get to know much of Yuri until I started doing clue scrolls. Again, clue scroll overhaul got me into clues massively, so it was great to get back into that. So I kind of know about Yuri a little bit now, so this is really cool. And you get some nice little rewards at the end as well, so, see what you think of them. There's a casket which requires a slider puzzle for you to solve, a unique slider puzzle in that regard, so hopefully you get some decent rewards out of it, or even out of the clue scrolls that we give you at the end of the quest. But apart from that, that'll kind of bring it to the end. 15 minutes of talking, of rambling or whatever. No format to it, no structure, just talking about anything that comes to my mind, really. So apart from that, I hope you enjoyed it, really, and let me know what you think. So yeah, take care and have a good one.